Hello, I'm Soap, and today I'm going to be talking about the most efficient way to get all the tails and to basically complete Season of Myth update, which includes the Selkie update, which I've made a much briefer video on, and the Fairy update. So I'll be talking about how to do the Selkie minigame as efficiently as possible and the Fairy wind chimes. You can only rescue Selkies on the day that the minigame is out, which you can check by clicking the sun or moon in the top right corner, which will tell you the weekly timetable. If the Selkie period is not long enough, you can pay the Selkie King 450 pearls to extend the period if it's 2 or less days. But if it's more than that, or if it's too close to another Selkie period, then you can't do this. To collect the seals, you can find them by clicking on find a Selkie, and then you'll track them. And since the minigame isn't broken anymore, that might have just been a me thing. There are seals literally everywhere. You have to stick around them until the bar above their head is full, and then they'll start following you. But if they're hungry, they'll be much slower, so you want to feed them. So when you're just doing your normal farming routine, try and pick up seaweed while you're collecting pearls and stuff, because the Selkies eat seaweed. Also, if you swim through a myth song orb and there's a Selkie close to you, you don't have to wait for their bar to fill up because they'll instantly teleport to you. And once they're following you, you'll be much faster and they'll stop trailing behind if you go through a myth song orb. By the way, myth song orbs are the golden circle things that you go through and are basically a currency for the common Selkie tails. If you free too many Selkies in one period, then they'll just stop showing up, but that rarely happens. This only happened to me once. Once you get all the Selkie tails, the next reward is an accessory pack, which you get all the accessories for. And once you finish getting all the Selkie rewards, you might still want to take part in the minigame because you get quite a lot of money for freeing individual Selkies. And you get 150 pearls every time you collect 150 myth song. So it is a decent way of farming, but you don't get XP for it, so I wouldn't recommend it strongly if you're trying to level up. But if you're just trying to get pearls, then I think it's a good thing to do. Another way to get pearls is by interacting with the Selkies. If you hug them, they will give you pearls, and the amount of pearls depends on their ranks. So there's common ones, which give you 50 pearls if you hug them. There's uncommon, which give you 10 pearls if you hug them. There's rare that give you 20 pearls if you hug them. And then there's the very rare seal, which gives you 50 pearls if you hug them. The common seals are often grey and brown. The uncommon ones are kind of look like harp seals, so a lighter grey. The rare ones are normally the pink ones, and the very rare ones are always the golden ones. I'm gonna state the obvious now, so if you want to know how to do the actually do the minigame, then you want to talk to the king and he'll literally tell you how to. But once the Selkies are following you, you just have to find a gate and make them go through. Also, I'm pretty sure the max amount of seals you can have following you is 5, because if you have any more, some will just start to drop off. But they won't teleport anywhere, so you can just go back to collect the Selkies you've left behind. Now onto the Fairy wind chimes, which are an older part of the Season of Myths update. But I thought it might be difficult for some people to understand this. So basically there's flowers around the map. I'm going to show you the path I take to bloom all of the different flowers in the different locations while explaining the other aspects. You have to guide the wind chime by swimming through it and around it to bloom all the flowers. You can do this every 30 minutes per different area of flowers, and they have set locations. The rewards you get are a petal, which you need a lot of to craft an accessory, and a weapon, which is the best weapon. I managed to actually beat the boss, which was crazy. But once you've crafted these flowers are still important because you can get XP. It's normally between 20 and 25 XP, which is quite significant if you're trying to level up. And since it's a new season, the Season of Myth, there are new level rewards which you want to hit before the next season, so you can get all the new tails and faces and stuff, and pearls. You can also get pearls from these flowers, and that's the most common reward. The rarest reward, I'd say, is probably the petal. It's quite hard to get. It took me 800 flowers I had bloomed to get all of the petals I needed for crafting, which is insane. Whilst you're going on the path to bloom all the flowers, you obviously want to pick up pearls on the way to get XP and pearls, and pick up seaweed as well if you're still doing the Selkie minigame. My point is just continue your normal routine as usual and just get bloom the flowers on the way. That's what I find to be the most efficient. After doing this minigame so much, I realized that you don't want to swim through the wind chime directly towards the flower. By this I mean you don't want to go too close to the flower, you want to stay like relatively close to wind chime in the middle and just go around in circles, because when you try to target the like individual flowers, it doesn't work as intended most of the time, but that might just be me. Okay, now on to the next part, leveling up to get the seasonal myth level rewards. There are 50 rewards, most of them being pearls obviously, but there are new dragon tails, and you get faces as well, titles, so basically it's like in your interest to level up. And we don't really know how long this season's gonna last, considering that the Sea Fairy update came out quite a long time ago. I think it might end soon, so I think it's probably best to level up as soon as possible. This part's going to be quite self-explanatory for people who play the game often and understand how the game works, but I'll try to give some more interesting tips on how to level up as well. So obviously you get 1 XP when you collect a pearl, so you should just go on your like pearl collecting path. I'm assuming everyone else has their individual routines because I just go on the same path over and over again. And if there's a bubble and it's not like the raining minigame where the bubbles spawn, pop some bubbles, because you'll get 3 XP, and sometimes you'll get a rare one which will give you 10 XP and 150 pearls. But try to stay on your track and just like do what you usually do. Help out any animals on the way because they give you like a lot more XP, like it normally ranges from like 6 to like 11 XP depending on the minigame. You also get 50 XP for finishing Gold's quest, but you can only do this once a day. You also get XP from the timetable. By this I mean when you click the sun or the moon in the top right corner. You get rewards every 5 in-game days. I've already got all the rewards, but you get XP every time you get one of the rewards as well as pearls. There's a total of 25 rewards, so eventually you won't get XP from playing for long amounts of time anymore. Another quick way to get XP if you have like pearls to spare is to buy a venture ticket and to do the harp minigame. Unfortunately this costs 500 pearls, but once you've bought everything like I have, then that's fine, and it's pretty easy to make 500 pearls. And I like to do the harp minigame because I find it the easiest, and even if you fail the minigame, you still get 5 XP and 150 pearls, but you get 0 sand tokens, which is what you ideally want if you're trying to buy emotes, but I don't think that's anyone's priority. It takes 200 XP to level up. That's pretty much how you do everything in the Seasonal Myths update. So thanks for watching, I hope this was helpful, and please like and subscribe.